What's up, everybody? Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in the world. Welcome. What's up, what's up? And we are live. Alright, just as a quick heads up, she came down with a fever last night. So, probably I may not talk a ton this stream, but as they say, the show must go on. But we're gonna just do something simple today. We're just gonna do something similar to what we did last week, which was we just worked on blocking out a bust for an alien. So this is the one that we're gonna be doing today. Well, I'm gonna be doing. Yo, what's up, Craig? How you doing, Pro? Luis, what's up, buddy? So sorry if I cough in your ear, and it sounds like death, but yeah. So anyways, yeah, this is what I'm gonna work on today. It's another concept by Ben Lowe, Benlo, and it was for BioWare that he did this for Mass Effect Andromeda, I believe it was. But anyways, these are just some quick sketches that he did of aliens, and I was like, you know what, it might be kind of cool just to do another quick alien bust to have some fun. Let me give you his art station real quick. So this is Ben Lowe. Ben. I'll go ahead and throw the link in here for you guys if you guys want to check him out. He does some really awesome stuff. But yeah, so these are some of just the exploration heads that he did while working at Mass Effect Andromeda. Last week we did actually this guy. So last week we did this guy. This week we're gonna do this guy. All right, let's roll. Yeah, it could be the cat. I don't even know what it was. I played through a little bit of the game. But then I stopped. Alright, so basically we're just going to start with a sphere. Let's drop that bad boy in. And for those of you who don't know, I'm just using this little see-through functionality up here, so that every time I scroll over the window, it actually shows my desktop a little bit. So I just throw this on my desktop so I can see it. You finished it 3 times? Andromeda? Man. I don't know. That's hardcore. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is, let's make this polymesh 3D. Let's turn on symmetry. And then let's dynamesh this bad boy. Let's see what 128 gives us. That's pretty... That's a lot. So let's do deformation. Let's just do unify real quick. And we'll just leave that as is. We'll just throw that down to like 56. So sometimes you may see this where you change the dynamesh and you try to re-dynamesh it and it doesn't go lower. A quick fix is just do a quick little smooth or something on it just to change the properties of it, and then redo the dynamesh, and then it'll work fine. Yeah, I played the crap out of the second one. I picked up the third one, played it a little bit, but then I didn't finish it. I know, I'm bad. Okay, so we're just gonna kind of get the shape of his head here. Something like this. Just gonna pull out And then we're just going to get into just sculpting, so I'm just going to start building in some of these forms. Alright, so here's Zygoma. Why unify? Sometimes if your scale is off, depending on if you have more than one subtool or not, it'll help scale it in a world space. Alright, these are way too high. Alright, and then a lot of times what I'll do too is just quickly block in like the neck, and then we'll throw the eyeballs in just to get the, because it's very eyeball centric on this guy. Yeah, man, no problem. How you been, Luis? It's been a while, bro. Let's get a little bit more shape out here. Let's redynamize this guy. I'll mask out a part. Oops. Flip the mask, and then I'll just use the move. Just to throw this out here. I don't, but you could. For sure. Alright, so this is all way too high. Alright, so let's put in his eyeballs real quick. So usually what I'll do is I'll just append a sphere. Grab this dude, turn off symmetry, bring him over to this side. Let's rotate him down so his eyeballs are forward. How advertising works. Nice, man. It's good to see you around still, buddy. So let's go to unmask, mesh, center. And then I'll just do a quick mirror and weld, and then now I have two eyeballs. Them eyeballs. Alright, eyeballs, them eyeballs are pretty big, so maybe something around there. That's what I'm thinking. Looks like they're not too far back from this forward portion either, so we'll just start with that. Alright, let's come back to this guy. It always looks like crap at the beginning. Alright, and then we come in and start blocking in where these shapes are. Just so I can start getting some landmarks coming in. Alright, so he's got this thing that comes up here. This is his brow. It looks like all this needs to come up. What's up, Yeto? How you doing, man? Hello from Turkey. It's a long way away from California. But how are you, sir? Okay, all this stuff needs to come in more. This is all skinny stuff in here. Okay. So he's got this shape that comes in here. The shape that comes out. This all comes in. Any tips for a beginner? However, I just try to get my head around anatomy. Yeah, man. So yeah, I just answered a very similar question for somebody a couple days ago. Honestly, I think it's a two-pronged approach. When you're kind of getting into this industry, there's a lot of time that you need to spend doing work, putting in work. What becomes really important is that you don't neglect your health while you're doing it. It's very, very important. So, a good way to study anatomy is to work on your own. Honestly, just work out. Like, oh, I need to work on my shoulders. Okay, what muscle groups are in my shoulders? I mean, I got my deltoids. Okay, I got my trapezius. I got my lats down here. Just getting kind of those basic form-defining muscles that you would work out. It's a really good way to start, honestly. But while you're doing that, probably one of the best ways to do it is to just grab some books and just start learning. And then while you're learning, draw the shapes. Trace them if you need to. For me, a lot of visual artists learn better when you're actually doodling. Like you're sitting in class and you're listening to the lecture and you're just doing your doodles. It's good ways to learn. Yeah, sorry man, I'm a little out of it this morning. I'm not the best verbally articulated or verbal. I'm not the best verbal ninjutsu this morning. But honestly, spend some time with anatomy books. I know it sounds simple, but it really is. I can't draw for my life. You know what? I couldn't draw either when I first started, honestly. But you just gotta practice, man. You're lots and lots and lots of practice. Yeah, lots of practice. Alright, let's redraw this piece. And then just I maybe just keep a sketchbook, and then don't worry about showing people. I think one of the things for me throughout my art life is I always felt pressure to show people, or that people were going to see my sketchbook. But honestly, that's where you make your best fails. You know what I mean? That's where you should fail the hardest and learn the lessons. You know what I mean? Okay. I think he's way too wide. We're going to bring this in and all this down more. I'm going to grab this dude. bring this in just a little bit more. Just use simple words. Very much so, man. But when I started doing anatomy, I would just go in and trace stuff. Just look, look at the overall shapes, and just practice. It's the other thing you could do too is take classes, like actually take drawing classes, like figure classes or something like that, because it's very helpful for actually actively setting aside time for you to do work. If there's like a junior college or something that's close to you, somewhere where you can get access to feedback is really good too. Okay, so let's nail. But just know that you're never done learning anatomy. Even the anatomy masters still never really mastered it. It's an ongoing process, pretty much forever. Alright, so this is going to come in. And this is all going to come. Man. This one may not turn out so well, guys. The important thing is that when you're practicing like this, that's what it is. It's just practice. And if you fail, you fail. Not that big of a deal. Because you're still learning. Yeah, like Nick says, you really just start small. I guess what I would suggest is start with an area. Like start with the arms, and then just learn all the pieces of the arm. And then once you know the arm, move on to the chest or the shoulders. Just take it piece by piece. There's a lot to the body, so let's go 128. Just a little bit more detail in here. Okay, all this stuff needs to come down more and out. Okay, sorry about that. Just had to go grab a tissue. I want to be doing that while I'm online with you guys. Let's see. Just started using Blender. Yeah, ZBrush is amazing, guys. Yeah, I was just doing doing that off camera. All right, so from right now, it's kind of important to kind of just get this overall feel of how this is all working. All right, so we've got Oh, it is? Thank you. I did that. Uh, actually, the last time I used the AFK thing, I think I went for like the rest of the stream with that on, and nobody told me. That was funny. Okay, so I think this is a little bit too pronounced too. We'll just smooth this out a little bit. I think all this needs to come down. There we go. That's fair. That was one of the things that was missing. All right, I think all this stuff should come in. There we go. There we go. That's a little bit better. So sometimes when I'm getting to this point where it's like really not hitting all the things that I want it to, I usually just kind of step back and just look at the overall shape, right? And try to figure out what's working and what's not working. Just look at like what shapes look good and what don't. So it's important to step away from the concept for a second and just kind of evaluate. I think this is a little too long. There we go. I think that this is a little bit too big. So I'm just going to bring the zygoma down just a little bit. This actually is going to come out. Let's tame this guy down. Okay, so we got a little bit more of the eyelid back here. I move pretty quick between a couple of different brushes. If you guys are ever wondering what I'm using, you can see what what I'm using right there. I usually go between the clay build-up, the move topologic, H polish, and damn standard. So I usually move through those pretty quick. Okay. Okay. So I feel like this can come out just a little bit. Okay, and then we're going to redraw these pieces in here just to kind of map it out a little bit better. To make my own brushes? No, not really. I basically just use those couple of standard brushes for almost everything that I do. Okay, this is going to come out just a little bit more. I think the only time I really do is when I'm going to be doing like stitches or like some kind of like pattern. A lot of times I'll just make the piece and then just create an insert mesh brush out of that. That's pretty much the only time that I do. Okay, this will round out. Okay, this piece comes in through here. I think this all can come up just a little bit. Okay. And all of this actually can come back. It's got this really cool plane change happening where like this comes out and then this comes out. I'm going to push this in. So you get some really nice cool compound forms coming out of there. And then this is going to actually be something like that, and then this piece There we go. It's starting to feel a little bit more like him. A long way to go, but we're getting there. Do you use those brushes with hard surface modeling as well? Yes. I think probably the most that I do is just doing insert mesh brushes for little pieces, so I don't have to like keep dropping them in the same areas and those types of things. So just to let you guys know, I'm actually planning on doing a full high-res character, specifically just during my Pixelogic streams. I just haven't figured out what character I'm going to do yet. So my plan is to do the full high-res character with game topology in mind, all on these streams. This should be fun. I really want to break down how I look at a concept, the things that I look at, like some of the problems that I know that are going to come up, and how I might kind of tackle those things, and then just do it. I just haven't figured out the concept that I want to do yet. So it's going to take quite a while to do. It'll probably take, I don't know, maybe a few months. So I want to make sure that whatever I do choose to work on, that I'm okay with working on it for that long, you know? Okay, so but that's the plan. So I think it should be fun and informative for those who are interested in kind of the whole block out process and like the thought process behind what goes into taking your concept and actually sculpting it out in 3D. Okay. Does that sound fun? Something you guys may be interested in seeing? Okay, so this shape should come out a little bit more. Yeah, it sounds fun, right? I think it would be really informative for... Yo, what's up, guys? What's up, Ashen? Did they misspell my name on here? Everybody keeps calling me Brendon today. I'm good, Ashen. How you doing, man? But yeah, I thought it'd be a cool idea to kind of take a full project into mind. Oh, okay, it does. I guess I'm getting the Brandons today. Hey, that's me. He spelled it right too. You probably just copy and pasted it though. But yeah, just from a professional character artist and being able to kind of show you guys the process of working from the concept and like some of the pitfalls that you may run into, some of the solutions, and all that kind of fun stuff. That might be kind of cool. That's funny that you say that, Nick, because My parents almost named me Bartholomew when I was born. That's funny. Yeah, we're just doing we're just doing a quick sculpt today. Not really feeling that well, so trying to just have a little bit of fun. My very soon actually, Zeno. I was actually trying to start it today, but I haven't found the concept that yet that I want to work from. Okay, I think what's happening is all this needs to come in. They're dog Nick. We named the dog Indy. You're named after a dog. Hate that dog. I gotta check that out. I've seen a couple people talking about that. Um, when you guys throw the link in the chat, I'd love to watch that at some point. Okay. Book of the Dead in Unity. I have to check that out. Alright. So usually when I get to about this part, I really start looking at the planes, and kind of how the light's falling off of them. Okay, cool. Cool. I'll take a look at that after the stream. Thanks, Ashen. But I start looking at the overall light, the planes of the face, right? So like this is all facing up mostly, right? So, and what this is saying is that it actually comes out pretty far, even though we're not seeing it there. So I want to make sure that those planes are hitting the right shapes based on what the lighting is doing here. This looks like it's a little bit more rounded. Alright. This actually should come up just a bit. It looks like this should come in more. Yeah, some of that Megascan stuff is dope, man. Okay, now we're getting somewhere. Now we're getting somewhere. Okay, I feel like this needs to be a little bit more refined in here. Know if it's possible to create unique polygroups for each created mesh via insert mesh brush. A way that you can go about that, actually, you know what, let's save this real quick. Let's do Ben, low, alien, head, 2. Sometimes what you can do, Frezzer, is let's go BI for insert. Let's just grab this guy. Let's turn on my polyframe. Like it should, it should be a different poly group when you insert. But the other thing that you could do is if it's not doing that, what it does is you can use the how'd my tool palette go? No, tool palette. You do not live over there. You live over here. The other thing you could do is go into polygroups and do so when you drop this onto this on any mesh, it'll automatically mask everything else and keep this unmasked. So what you could do is you could do group masked, or flip the mask real quick and then do group masked. So that's one way that you can do it if it's not doing that. But if you're doing inserts, it should automatically be a new poly group. Does that help? Yeah, so like if I do it once, these all should be why was it doing it that way before? Technically, they are different polygroups. So what happens is it does like this kind of rainbow effect where these should all be different. Yeah, these are different. Even though they don't look different, they are. Is that what you're trying to say? I think that's what you're trying to say. Oops, not that one. Polyframe. So if you ever run into this, just create a new document. New document, no, and then just drop your dude in again. Hit T for edit, and you're good to go again. Just keep in mind that all the history and everything like that is not dependent on the document that you're using. It's dependent on the tool. For what, Zeno? 4 or 6? Yeah, that was a while ago, man. You should definitely upgrade. Mostly because it has way better, awesome, amazing things. Let's see. I think all of this. Yep, and the upgrades are free. ZModeler is awesome, man. I use ZModeler all the time. Okay, so I think we should move from this. Let's look on the shape of his head real quick. Yo, Kenyon! How you doing, buddy? Long time. Let's start doing some of these outer pieces real quick. Worth every penny. Worth every penny, Zeta. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, but Kenya, dude, good to see you, buddy. Let's just append another sphere. Grab this dude. Let's just start playing here. I ended up doing a whole Transformers Optimus Prime with ZModeler. It was awesome. It was quite a challenge, but it was awesome. Alright, so let's do this. Let's just, we'll do Dynamesh on this guy. Probably, maybe not that much. Let's just do 64. That's good. And let's see if we can start getting some shape to this dude. Move, man. Move, brush. Come on. Alright. Sorry, I'm not watching chat right now, guys. Just give me a second, and if anybody's asking me a question, I'm going to try to block this guy out real quick. Actually, what I'm just going to, I'm going to duplicate this guy. And then I'm just going to rotate him around like this. And then I'll grab this, I'm going to merge those down, that's fine. And then re-Dynamesh. Done. Let's actually... maybe use a snake hook. I think all of this needs to come back. It's probably my fan that you're hearing. There, I could turn it down there for you. Gets a little hot in my office room here, so you're like, what the hell is that? What the hell is that, sir? What is that? Oh my God! Oh, yeah, no problem. No, it's okay, man. It was getting a little bit loud. All gravy. Alright, and then let's just append another sphere here. Grab this guy. Move him down. Let's say 64. I know, right? Sometimes it can be a little bit loud. Sorry about that, guys. Make sure this is on symmetry. And let's just kind of get that body shape in here. Like, what the hell is this music? Kids these days, I don't know what the hell they're listening to. those young whippersnappers listening to that punk rock music. Sometimes when I'm doing these pieces, you know, it may be completely garbage. I may just have to start over again, you know. Let's use trim dynamic here. So like sometimes if you run into something like this, I just use trim dynamic to kind of get that down. And maybe some inflate in here. Redye the mesh. There we go. Alright, let's just work on these pieces real quick. And get something that's relatively not horrible to look at here. This that comes up back there. So usually like when this part starts happening where like I'm looking at a concept and it's a little bit kind of fuzzy, just I try to look at the values to explain the basic shape, and then I don't feel bad for just going in and make it look cool, you know. A lot of times when concept artists are doing their concept, they're just like, okay, and this is kind of something down here, you know. A lot of times that's where the character artist will actually need to come up with other things, come up with the stuff that looks cool, fill in the gaps, kind of, you know. Let's turn this dude off for a second. Let's just focus on this. So I feel like there's like this. So yeah, there tends to be a lot of fill in the gaps work that happens, especially if concept artists are working quickly and just trying to pump stuff out. So a lot of times it's left up to the character artist to kind of fill in those gaps. Okay. Maybe we could just use our trim curve brush. Just cut some pieces off here. Alright. So sometimes when I get to this point like this where like I'm just fighting this piece so much, a lot of times I'll just redo it. Just delete it. Don't be afraid to what do they say? Don't be afraid to murder your darlings. There we go. There's some cool shapes starting to happen in there. I didn't lose chat, did I? You guys are still there. Okay, yeah, you're still there. Exactly, boyfriend. It's a fine line. There we go. That's starting to look a little bit better. Alright, so let's just append another sphere real quick. Grab this dude. Let's do, let's say 64. Down to mesh that bad boy. Actually, you know what? Let's put it down to 32. So you work with big shapes here. Okay. Now let's see if we can get something a little bit better looking. So yeah, sometimes you just have to start over with some pieces. Sometimes it takes a couple of times to get the overall feel for it down. Alright, maybe we'll grab a snake hook here. Of course, I don't have much resolution right now, so snake hook may look a little... feel like this is a little too wide out here. I feel like this should probably come in more. I actually feel, you know what, maybe it's way too far out. Maybe this piece has to come back some. Something a little bit more akin to that there. Again, if you're just joining us, this is a concept from Ben Lowe, a concept artist up at BioWare Montreal, and his. I'll give you the link to his ArtStation here real quick for the concept. There you go. I'm going to take a look at some of his work. Okay, then we'll take this guy. Let's duplicate this dude. Yeah, he has some really cool stuff, man. He got some really cool ideas. Let's duplicate that guy. Rotate him around. Oops. Let's turn off symmetry first. Okay, and then we'll grab this dude, we'll merge it down, redynamesh. Let's actually give it 64 now. There we go. I'll do a quick trend dynamic, get this all out of there. Maybe do a quick inflate, redynamesh. Alright, there we go. Looks like two kids with no heads are hugging him. That's funny. Alright, so maybe this comes up more. And maybe all this actually comes in and connects. Yeah, actually, I was actually going to get to that here pretty soon. Usually what I do when I start getting to this point is I'll just throw some quick poly paint on to get some of these values going. Alright, so now we've got a little bit of something. This shape really is really gross to me. So let's work on that for a second. Yeah, I haven't got to that. I haven't got to the pupils yet. We'll get there. Thanks, I didn't realize that I forgot the rest of his body yet. You're good. Oh, you're good. Maybe we'll just start using some trend dynamic here. So we can get a little bit of shape going on. It's mirror, mirror and weld, dynamesh. Alright, let's get back to his face. You know what he could do? This might be a good time to actually see how far off we are. Man, that's actually, for the head, it's actually pretty close. So usually I like doing this. I'll just kind of see where my shapes are. Actually, I gotta bring up the chin here real quick, and we'll turn my see-through. There we go. There we go. A little bit higher there. Alright, so this is going to come back through here. This part is way off. The other shape's actually almost right on. Must have used custom one. So if you want to save your rotation, you can just come up to Document, come down to ZBrush Properties, and you can actually create a character sheet here. So what I did is I just used custom one, so that no matter where I go, I can come back to custom one and it's still there. And that's not a spotlight thing, it's just really easy. It's just this up here, the see-through window transparency. Super awesome and helpful. Yeah. It's all dark magic, man. This actually should probably come out a little bit more. Okay, now that I like completely mutilated the head here, let's see. Let's see how it looks. Okay. While we're at it, let's grab this dude and work on that shape a little bit while we got this all nice and lined up. Okay. It is a little bit different, huh? What if we actually take and do... Sorry, give me a sec, guys. I'll get back to chat here in a second. I remember a while ago you said you used to do scan cleanups. Currently working on my own scans and have a cleanup phase. What are some good brushes to use for that? I love smooth valence brush and of course story morph target. Yeah, morph targets are super good. Honestly, I think your best friend is... Whoa, he looks way different now. One of your best friends for cleaning up scans is using your subdivision levels. Just going and keeping like the high res details up on your upper subdivision levels, and then using your lower subdivision levels to really clean up a lot of stuff. Alright, let's read Dynamesh real quick. Actually, you know what? I'm not even on Dynamesh. Oh, that's why. Let's delete it. Alright, and then let's read Dynamesh. There we go. Yeah, that see-through thing is nice and handy. I discovered that a long time ago and I've used it a lot. Okay, let's redefine some of these areas in here. Yeah, it's a really good tool to use. Alright, it's definitely need to, like, after I go through it and do some of those large form changes, I just want to come back and just kind of get an overall look. I feel like kind of destroyed some stuff there. Yeah, he does look really sad now, huh? I think what's happening is that this all needs to come in. Latest version of ZBrush that's out is for R8. Tries to same steps to the insert mesh and the polygroups. However, I only get different polygroups when I add various meshes from the brush. So like I said, like if you're doing insert mesh, a quick fix to it is if you're adding one like this, what it does is it automatically masks everything except for the insert mesh. So what you can do is just flip the mask real quick and then do go to polygroups and do group masked right here. Right. So just insert real quick, flip it, group masked, insert, flip it, and I just have it out here. So group masked, flip, group masked. So that's one of the ones that you can do. It's not a setting. It may just be. Are you say you're using 4R6? Let's actually go back to custom one real quick. I just want to draw in this piece just to get that in the right area. Yo, what's up, J-To? Yeah, it's worth every penny, for sure. What's the most important part? The coloring, the lighting, or the sculpting? Yes. All of the above. Just for practice. Alright. Alright, let's see if I can get this to not look so sad. I'm going to use a little H polish. Kind of flatten out some of these planes. A lot of times I'll use H polish just to kind of get all the planes working in the right direction. Yeah, man, it's definitely worth the investment. This is when I got back into the game industry, this was actually the first program that I bought. Okay, thinking. Thinking I pretty much demolished this guy. Let's actually see. So sometimes, even if you do this where, you kind of line things up and they're going, it doesn't work out so well. I may actually go back. Kind of like this better. And that's where I lost him in there. I feel like he looks better there. A little bit more like he should, you know what I mean? I think I'm going to stick with that. Yeah, 4 or 8 should have a free trial version. Alright. Yeah, let's undo 331 stages of stuff. So when you're doing these types of practices, it's really important to still be able to sit back and say, alright, well, what feels right? You know? I went all that way and he didn't feel right. I'm going to take some of those changes that I did. Maybe what I'll do though is, let's go back to custom 1, and I'll actually just put this back in here. Let's just trace this out. We'll work on the head shape just a touch. There we go. You a badass like me? No, I'm not a badass, man. I'm just dedicated, that's all. Alright, let's see if we can refine some of this in here. Oops, wrong button. Alright, so this comes down. This we're going to thin up a bit. Come through there. We'll work on this shape just a touch. Oops. It's dedication, man. It is. It really is dedication. It's learning what you love to do and then just do it and then keep doing it, you know? Let's use maybe some soft polish up here. Kind of clean up these shapes a bit. Let's work on a little bit of this shape here. Get something interesting going on. Okay. I think maybe we can actually just bring that in a little bit. I feel like this piece is way too big. Maybe we can actually bring out the zygoma a bit. Bring this piece back in. So it's not so prominent. There we go. It's starting to get to feel like him, you know? I feel like this should be a little bit more flat. Something like that. Alright, Zeno. Take it easy, man. Thanks for dropping by, bud. Oh, look at that. This piece actually should come up there. Like this. And then come out like that. There we go. That's one of the pieces I was missing. $20 million, that's it? Yeah. Some of my projects get up to 100 something. You gotta have a sit down and have a talk with your computer, bro. Alright, I think I'm to a point now where I'm gonna start needing a little bit more resolution in there. So let's save this first. Usually what I do is, when I get to this point where I'm going to start working on smaller details, I feel like the overall shapes are relatively close to where I'm liking them. Start polishing some of this stuff up. Usually what I'll do is I'll just dupe this guy, throw the original down to the bottom, turn them off. That way I can always get back to them if I need to, if I get like reproject or something like that. Get to the coloring already. Yeah, I know I should, huh? Let's do that actually. That's a good point. So let's go up to what 256 here. Let's take a look at my poly count, and there we go. And then when I up-res, usually I'll just do a quick clay polish on it. So Geo, just do a quick clay polish, and that usually tends to keep my peaks and valleys pretty well, but just cleans things up. So just it gives me like a really nice palette to start getting finer details on. And it's nice because it forces me to kind of start reworking some of the surfaces. Start just coming through and just start getting some of these bigger details in here. Hour and 28 minutes. Up dog. What's up, dog? Hey man, you got some up dog? What's up, dog? Not much, man. How you doing? Alright, I need to start kind of refining some of these areas more. Should get some of these bigger shapes just kind of redefined real quick, and then I think we'll start getting into some poly painting here. Just to start blocking out the overall values of him, right? Alright, so let's do that. So usually for poly painting, I just use my standard brush. So I'll go into, take Z off, put on RGB, and then we'll take a look at like what his overall base color is, right? It's kind of like this white pinkish feel, almost like a peach. Okay, so let's grab maybe something like that. Alright, then let's just do RGB, we'll just do fill object, and then we'll grab maybe this darker, a little bit more red. Like that. We'll just start coming through here and just filling in just the overall value differences in these areas. Just needing to get a little bit closer to what the concept is saying. I don't mind painting over because now that I have these colors down here, you can just do color pick. So wherever I'm hovering, I could hit C, and then it will pick that color. So I could just repaint over this real quick. Just grab this color again. Just blocking it in. Nothing too crazy. Just want to get some of the different values in here. There we go. So I just get some of that all blocked in. Yep, those are my dogs. Those are my dogs. Alright, maybe we'll get a little bit of like a blue. Let's What's up, Ox? How you doing? Yeah, maybe a little bit of both. Actually, you know what, before we do that, let's grab. The other thing too is you can do sculpting and painting at the same time. So sometimes if I'm drawing out like this line up on the top of his head up here, a lot of times I'll just use coloring and sculpting at the same time. So like on my dam standard, I'll just turn on my RGB, and then I can come in and sculpt at the same time. Get the idea for the shape. There we go. Maybe a little bit smaller. Alright, maybe we can add some of these little pieces in here just for some breakup. And then maybe grab this color again. Come on, thank you. And let's pull some of that back just to break up. So they're not exactly just those little circles. Actually get some freckles. Damn freckles. Alright, let's do this dude real quick. So usually what I'll do is I'll start with dark color for the eyes. Let's do fill object, and then we'll grab this color, and then we'll just really kind of lightly do that. We get a little bit of that AO effect in there. Oh, was it? I didn't have a chance to see it. Whoa, why did you get all crazy there, bro? Huh. Interesting. I may have to go back and watch this VOD. Alright, so let's do something like that. And then maybe we'll grab blue. Oops. Come on now. Add a little bit of blue hue to it. Okay, and then we'll do dark color. So this is going to be the outer part of the, is it the iris? He looks hella weird like that, huh? Let's make sure I have enough resolution on this dude. So what I'm going to do is just dynamesh it. That should be enough. Let's smooth that out real quick. Maybe we'll do smooth stronger. My smooth isn't working very well. If you guys don't know, in brush, smooth, there's actually a smooth stronger. There's all kinds of other smooth brushes in here too. Yes, that's fine. I want to make sure RGB is off though. There we go. Okay. Now we could do Something like that. And then I'm going to grab that lighter blue color. I'm going to change my brush size just a bit. Something like this. And then I'm going to go back to that dark color for the iris. And then just maybe a little bit bigger. Actually, I think the placement of his eyeball should be a little bit, probably a little bit lighter too. Let's do it here. Now, still got to do it up a little bit more. There we go. That might be a little bit better. Alright, so let's grab something a little bit lighter. Alright, and then we'll go back to dark. It can be pretty touchy too when you're doing this. That's a little bit better. And then usually what I'll do is I'll just go and fill it with a toy plastic. Maybe a gummy. Where's toy plastic? Here we go. Let's do toy plastic, and then we'll do just material, and then we'll do fill object, and then we'll go back to basic there. So now we actually get that really nice shine. It looks something a little bit more realistic. Okay. Now let's start doing a little bit more details. Let's make sure I'm on the head. There we go. And then I want to make sure that I go back to when I'm not using the brush, the smooth stronger. I just go back to my regular smooth brush. There you go. There we go. Let's make sure RGB is off from my damn standard. Then let's start refining some of these shapes more. Again, this is just a practice. I'm not going to take it too far. Just want to practice copying from a concept and really kind of just trying to get the overall feel of it. You missed it, man. Missed it. It's okay, I got VODs. Clean up some of these pieces here. Food's for closers, bro. So I just kind of want to start looking at, you know, what some of these secondary shapes may be. The smaller secondary shapes, just adding a little bit more interest on it as you go. Then you can always just turn colorize off. Colorize. Hello. I usually put this on a keyboard shortcut, so I use Shift C for that, so I can turn colorize on and off really quickly, which is really nice. It's handy to use that way. That way you can kind of just get back to yeah, you win, dude. You win. Yeah, this is the fun part. Once you get like everything blocked out, and just going in, adding some a little bit more of these smaller secondary details. This is the fun part. You really start bringing some of the fidelity out. I'm probably getting to a point now where I could even probably go up a little bit higher in resolution. Now that I'm trying to do a little bit more of these smaller details. I think before I do that though, I want to kind of figure out what his neck, secondary shapes of his neck is doing. Yeah, it totally automated you. So let's add a little bit more. First we'll save this. Okay, and then let's go. Actually, a lot of times when I get to this point, um, I'll just. Man, what is? Oh, that's why. Why did I have topological on for my smooth brush? That's weird. One time when I get to this point where I'm not really gonna make too many more big changes. It's really gonna be just kind of small stuff. I'll just Z-remesh them real quick and reproject so that I can get in and start doing some of these fine details without having to go super crazy high with the Dynamesh. So let's do that real quick. Show you. I'll keep the original, right? Let's just turn this off right now. We're going to duplicate that guy. Let's turn everything else off. Right, so on the duplicated one, we'll go to geometry, go to Z-remesher. I usually put these down to like 20. I feel like that's good. And then we'll just do 5,000. Sure. See what that comes up with. That's not bad. That's some relatively good topology flow. It's enough. I'm just looking for making sure things are like the size of the polys are relatively uniform across the board. That's fine. Then we'll just divide this a couple of times. So we'll say that's at 160,000. That's nothing. Let's go a couple more. 2.5. That's probably a little overkill for this, but so let's actually go back. Let's delete higher. I think 4 is enough. This is 600. Nah, let's do one more. What the hell? There we go. Then what I'll do is I'll go down to like level 2. Alright, so I just have these two, which is the sculpted piece and the Z-remeshed one. And then we'll do a project. So subtool, just project, and it's going to project to anything that's visible. So we'll do project, and then now it actually projects the to that size. So I'll just walk up in subdivision levels here, project all. Excuse me. Let's turn off Dynamesh real quick. Go back up to 5. We'll do project all again. What software you use to make the texture of the model? You mean just the paint that's on there? That's just polypaint in ZBrush. But if I was doing a full game model, I would use. Personally, I would use Substance Painter. Cool. There we go. So I have all of those details from this Dynamesh piece, but now I have what, 2.5 million and subdivision levels. Let's turn that off. Turn these guys back on. What I do want to do though is you can also project the polypaint. So let's turn everything else off. We'll go back here, go to this guy. Let's turn the polypaint back on, and then we'll do one more project. So we'll do project all, and it should project the polypaint as well. He usually asks. We'll see. Yeah, there we go. So when you're projecting, if you have the polypaint or the colorize on, it'll actually project your color as well. There we go. Now I can come in and, excuse me for 1 sec, guys. Now I have subdivision levels and go down. So I can move stuff around here and then go back up, and it preserves all of that detail. So I'm not. If I'm finished doing major changes, I don't need to re-dynamesh stuff anymore. Um, then I'll go through and do this process real quick. Not material. I don't want to do material. I want to do color. There we go. I'll just do some breakup in here. Now I'm just kind of having fun. Kind of stepping back a little bit and just filling in some of the details. My favorite Pokemon? You guys are gonna hate me. I don't really play Pokemon. What? Heretic! My wife loves Pokemon though. She was all about that Pokemon app when it came out. It was pretty cute. Oh my god, have you seen this Pokemon app? It's the best thing in the world. Ah! I played it with her for a little bit, and then I was like, yeah, I'm kind of done with this. Never really got into Pokemon. It was a little bit after my time. It was really cool. So what I wanted to do with this is this white stuff is kind of a, I want to see a little bit more like carapace, right? Where it's kind of like a little bit more like hard shell type material to it, right? We got kind of like these facets going on. And then all this in here is like this connective soft tissue, kind of like what you see with crabs or something. So like there's kind of like this smaller pieces kind of come in through here. Smaller shapes and alright, I think I'm done with the concept there for now. James, holy cow, dude. What's up, buddy? How you doing, man? It's been a while. It has been a while, sir. How have you been, buddy? No, you spell it favorite, right? I guess it depends on where you are in the world. Alright, maybe we can get into doing a little bit of like tertiary detail to start pulling this back up. Thanks, Vulqua. Aluminium. Caribbean or Caribbean? Tomato. Whatever floats your boat, man. Z or Z? That's probably the bigger one. ZBrush. You start getting into doing maybe just a quick round of subsurface, not subsurface details, but let's see, micro, yeah. Let's see what this does. Let's do RGB, and then we'll like grab this color, but maybe we'll get closer to maybe actually this color, but maybe just a touch darker. Alright, let's turn our Z down. Let's turn that to sub. Alright, we start kind of getting... So what we could do is maybe store a morph target, and then throw some of this stuff in there. Like that, and then we'll go back to our morph brush, BMO, and then we'll just morph some of that out. Let's actually see if we can morph the color back out too. So we put this on RGB and put this back to this color. There we go. So morph target's awesome for kind of, and then you can even do the same thing where like you could do morph target and then use the same. Alright, so like kind of in those areas it actually morphs it back to what it was. So it adds kind of this cool negative effect. Once you start layering details like this, you start getting some really cool how long have I been using ZBrush? Probably about 4 or 5 years by now. Maybe we'll grab this color, maybe make it a little bit darker. Oops. We'll just do some maybe minor details in here. It's kind of cool. This is like this little transition area. Again, I know I can morph that back out, so I'm just kind of, I go a little bit heavy-handed and then I'll pull back a touch. It is 8 o'clock. Time to wrap it up. Alright, so go back to BMO for brush, morph target. Let's grab this color again, and then we'll just pull these back. We'll start pulling a little bit of that detail back to its original form. So get some really cool breakups there. You get by kind of doubling up on a couple of different texturing strategies like this, you start getting some really cool effects happening. It's different from you know, things that you've seen before. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Alright, but I think our time is up. Had a little bit of fun. I think I'm going to go back to sleep, try to get some rest, get over this this fever I picked up this morning. Yay. But yeah, I think I'm going to try between now and my next stream to pick a long-term project to work on. I think that's what I'm going to try to do. Yeah, James, it's good seeing you too, buddy. My goal is to work on a full character all the way through for a high-res sculpt. Hopefully by next stream I'll be able to find the piece that I want to work on. I'm really trying to find the one that I want to spend some time with. Probably should have had that up at 5. Awesome. Anyway. Yeah, that was fun. Yeah, maybe we'll just do a quick... Just add a little bit of color variation to that. Really bugging me. It's usually at the end of these streams where I'm like, all right, I'm good. I think we're gonna call it, and then I'm like, there's a couple other things that I really want to fix real quick before I call it. Like, there's that thing. I wanna fix that. There we go. That feels a little bit better. Just add a little bit of that AO feel. The ambient occlusion. Yeah. Alright. I think that's it. Alright, guys. And gals. Hope you had fun. I hope you learned a couple of things. And most of all, I hope you're inspired to go make your own cool stuff. So go. Do it. Grab a concept. Get to sculpting. Play around. See what you come up with. Practice, practice, practice. And then do it again. And then do it again. Alright, guys. We'll see you soon. Take it easy, y'all. Later.